Hi everyone, thanks for finding my video. You're listening to Cypher, and today I have got a brilliant video for you. It's about one of the pieces of equipment that I have found to be the most valuable after buying my guitar, so my best purchase since the guitar, and it is the Blackstar Fly 3 mini practice amplifier. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it to bits. It looks great, very functional. And in this video we're going to be looking at all the controls, and we'll also be hooking up to my guitar, and so a little bit of a small review, shall we say. So I'll be right back in just a moment. Okay, so my Blackstar, it's a Fly 3 as I've said, and this is the non-Bluetooth version. It cost me just under £50, so yeah, for some people it is a bit of money, but in the guitar world it's not too bad. There is a Bluetooth version available, I saw on the internet recently, for just under £100. I think it's about £95, and that will give you a Bluetooth version. It's a very compact, well-built, good-looking unit. It's got a 3-inch speaker in it, which is 3 watt. The whole unit weighs about 900 grams, so less than a kilogram, and it measures roughly 17 centimeters by 12 centimeters by 10. So it's very, very compact. Sits in your hand very easily, and like I said, I love it to bits. It can be linked to a second cab unit, and you get a cable, or you can buy a cable which plugs in the back here, and then you can plug your phone in, or you can hook it up to your laptop or whatever, and you can use that for listening to music in stereo if you want to. I've just got the one single one because I'm just using it as a basic practice amp at the moment. It is powered by 6 AA batteries that come with it, and they seem to be lasting quite a fair amount of time. Probably the only negative thing that I would say about this unit at the present time is that there is a jack on the back for a mains power, but the mains power lead doesn't come with it, so you've got to buy that separately. That's probably the one downside that I would have against this unit. I really wish that they provided one with it. I like my power units to be matched to the equipment that I'm buying, so yeah, Blackstar, that's something that you really ought to address. And I've seen other reviews online before I bought this unit, and pretty much everybody's saying the same thing. So that's the negative out of the way. With regards to other bits and pieces on the back, you've basically got your battery compartment. You've got your extension speaker jack here for connecting it to a second speaker, as I said, and the power. Otherwise, nothing on the back. The front, when you look at it, you've got your Blackstar logo. It's got a nice mesh grille. It's well made. It looks like a small amplifier, so it even looks pretty good on the shelf. Then we get to the busy part. Get it around the right way. On the top here, I've got another video, so when I plug the guitar into it you'll be able to see a little bit closely. But there's basically 2 inputs. You've got one for your guitar, nice and straightforward, and then you've got an MP3 line input that you can plug your phone or your computer or any other sort of device into, and I use this to hook my iPhone up to with an aux lead so that I can have backing tracks that I play against. You've got a power button over here, so it just turns it on. You get a nice red light to show that it's on. And then at the top here you've got 2 other buttons. You've got one which is for the overdrive, so you can either run it in clean mode or overdrive mode, and then the rotating button on this side is for the delay, and I'll get to that in just a moment. With regards to the controls, you've got your gain and you've got your volume. I tend to find that the two work together, so if you've got one on minimum and one on maximum, you're not going to get anything. So you just need to be aware of that. I'll show you that in just a moment. You've then got your EQ, which has got the Blackstar ISF, which is the infinite shape feature, and this control works in conjunction with the tone control to enable you to infinitely change the sound, and the literature says that it gives you endless possibilities on the tone of the amp. I would say, in my personal opinion, all of this is pretty subtle, as expected from a small unit. If you want some really big changes, then you're going to need to go for a bigger amplifier, but for a practice amp, this is absolutely brilliant. The ISF, you have the opportunity to switch it from a more American style with a tight bottom end and a more aggressive middle, right the way around to the British style, which is a little bit more woody and less aggressive. And then, of course, because it's a rotating knob, you've got everything in between, so you can really set it to where you want. And then finally, you've got the delay with your tape delay, and obviously the little button on here to make the delay come faster or slower. Again, I tend to find that fairly subtle. Unless I've got everything blaring out, you tend not to hear that too much. But anyway, that's the unit. So let me go and connect the guitar up. I'll be back in a moment and we'll have a little listen. Okay, so I've got my guitar set up, plugged into the guitar and also to the Fly, and hopefully you'll be able to see the top of the Fly box in the video below, so that you can see how I am adjusting the controls. At the moment, the power is on. I've got the red light. The overdrive is turned off. The delay is turned right down, and as you can see, all of the other settings are all at 0. So don't expect any fantastic riffs or some fantastic tunes. I'm still not that good. It's still early days. But if I just ring out a few strings, then you can hopefully hear that there's not a lot coming from the speaker. At the moment, I've got a microphone on the floor just in front of it. So if we then bring the gain round to 12 o'clock and we strum again, you'll see that that really hasn't made a lot of difference. Remember, you tend to need to have the level, as in the volume and the gain, working together. So if I take the volume right the way round to full pelt with the gain on 0, again, I'm only really hearing the guitar. I'm not hearing anything else. So what we'll do is we'll take both the gain and the volume and we'll set them to midway. So this is at the 12 o'clock point, and now we get quite a nice tone, quite a nice volume, and that tends to be where I have it when I'm practicing. It's quite a nice area. In particular, when I've got the headphones on so that I'm listening, I can practice quietly, not disturb anybody in the house, but I can still have quite a nice tone that I'm listening to. Now, my recording device isn't going to cope with this, but if I take the gain all the way around to maximum, then you can hear you've got quite a good sound there. If I set that to 12 o'clock and the volume to maximum, then again we've got quite a good sound and quite a fair amount of volume from that small 3-inch 3-watt speaker, and it's quite impressive. And if we take both of those two around to maximum, now I apologise, the recording device is not going to cope with this. Then that is quite a bit kicking out from this small little unit. I'll reset those back to something more manageable for the recording devices that I've got here. but that's kicking out some decent sound for such a tiny little unit, which I really love. Okay, so the next knob over, you push that one down, and then that gives you the overdrive. Which again, the recording device is not coping with. And if I take that off, so these are the two channels. So this is your clean. All I'm going to do, hit the overdrive, and we get that real extra boost, which is rather nice. I'm going to take the overdrive off for the moment, just so that the recording devices can cope. So the next button over is the equalizer. I've got that on 0 at the moment. Now the equalizer, as I said, it's got the ISF in it, and that will go from British to American, or the other way around. I don't know which it is actually. I'm going to have to check that one out. So you heard it playing at 0. If we crank that round to 12 o'clock, so midway between the two, then that's pretty subtle. If I run that all the way around to 10, so maximum, then I'm actually deaf in one ear. I don't tend to admit that to a lot of people, so for me to pick up the subtle differences is quite difficult, and I don't know how well the microphone is going to pick that up, but I do tend to find that that is pretty subtle. What I'll try and do is we'll ring out a note as I'm turning the knob, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the difference. I'm just going to take the volume up ever so slightly. So we'll come down to 0. So just take that volume up a little bit more. Okay, let's try that E string again. Well, I know my hand's in the way, but all I'm doing is I'm just turning that up and down as the string is ringing out, so you can see the change in the pitch. And I'm basically going from there to there as I'm turning that. I tend to find that the biggest change is in the upper level, but that's basically the EQ. I'll leave it that central for the moment and just set the other controls backwards, so back to where they were. And then we've got the delay next. Now the delay, this little button on the top here, if you can see, I've got that turned right the way down. So the delay at the moment is nothing. If we bring that round to 12 o'clock, again you can't really hear anything. At least I can't. And again, there's not a lot in there. Remember, the delay level is right the way down. So now if I put the delay level halfway, it's very subtle, but you can just hear it coming in there. So very, very, very subtle. And if I run that right the way around, and hopefully now you can hear just a very quiet delay, just a moment or two after I've picked the string. So on the E string here, you can hear it a little bit better. volume up just to see if you can hear that a little bit more. So that's the delay. I think the effects on the unit are very subtle. Like I said, if you want some bigger changes, then I think you really want to be looking at a much better amp, a bigger amplifier. But I tend to have the controls around about 12 o'clock, pretty much right way across the board. I don't normally play with the delay on because I want more of a clean tone whilst I'm practicing. And for me, this little unit is just absolutely brilliant. It's very well made. The action of when you're turning the dials is superb, and it looks great, and I really can't fault it. Like I said, the only thing, I just wish that I had a power lead with it, but that seems to be quite a common thing with this. So yeah, if you're looking for a practice amp, I can recommend this one. I'm really pleased with this purchase. I hope that you found this video useful. I hope the sound wasn't too bad. And in the next video, I am going to be getting or doing a review of my first guitar lesson with the professional, and I'm hoping to get that online over the next few days. So thanks very much. Watch this space, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.